All right, so good morning, happy Sunday. Beginning my classes this weekend with just a moment of silence. So find a comfortable seat and let your eyes close. And let the silence be something that is drawing you into it. So it's not something that you are trying to create, but it's just letting yourself sink maybe below the layers of your mind that are still thinking a lot about what's going on outside. In the silence, we have the opportunity, again, we take moments of silence when there is a reason to pause and reflect. There's always a reason to pause and reflect. So in your silence, can you take a moment where you have a space that holds the entire world with all of its current insanity? And just hold it in a loving place with maybe nothing more than the thought that everyone finds their way. Not trying to solve anything. Just the thought and the feeling that all beings find their way. And that includes you, especially you. And the silence or the internal places where it said everything arises from. So all of your craziness arises from here, but also all of the easefulness of your life arises from here. All of the blessings of your soul arise from here. All of the great things that we're asked to turn to in yoga arise from here. Just a moment to feel your breath and to feel that feeling. And with the eyes still closed, mentally or internally begin to repeat the sound of Om. So with each breath inside, you hear the sound of Om. And imagine that it is the same as you would say it out loud. So it's not a quiet Om. It's that reverberating, echoing Om as long as you can make it in your mind. It's a long sound. And so if it's happening with each breath, it becomes almost a continuous sound. And it's internal, so it's arising from somewhere within. It has nothing to do with your expression on the outside. It's purely arising from within. And keep dropping your mind. So you're not thinking about trying to make the perfect Om or wondering what I'm trying to get you to do. Is you're just saying the sound of Om. And you can either let your hands remain where they are or bring them together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. So from the internal, we move to the external. So a verbal sound of Om, deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. And then stay seated. Bring your hands to your knees or your thighs and begin to cat-cow your spine. So as you inhale, lift the chest up, but almost as though you're bringing the chest between the arms. And then as you exhale, round back into the back of the rib cage, drop your chin towards your chest. And then continue like that, inhaling, rising up, lifting the chest, exhaling, curling backwards. Good. Nice, nice, nice. So I've been working this week for myself with this concept that we have in yoga that says we have two parts of our practice that are necessary, Sukha and Stira. And stira is a word that basically implies a structure or form or a discipline, right? It's the active kind of foundation of things. And sukha is a word that means sweet or easeful. So we have to have both of those qualities in our practice, otherwise it becomes not sustainable, right? Unbalanced. Move yourself just a little bit faster. So you're doing the same action, but you're moving your spine a little faster. Good. Nice. You can imagine here, right? This is your cobra pose. Same action of the back. Good. But I've been contemplating that part that we say the sukha, right? Is the sweetness or the easefulness, and how do we get there? And it's not something that we can really force our mind to do, right? It's like telling your mind to relax. It doesn't work so great when you're just yelling really loudly at yourself that you have to relax. We have to come to a state where that ease is allowed to flow, right? Where there's a dropping of that feeling of control, and that's stira, right? When we get too much into that control, that gripping, is that the ease disappears. So the place where the ease arises from is already within. It's not, I get everything organized on the outside. That helps. But if we don't allow that flow from the inside, then we stay stuck in our conditions. We stay stuck in our habits. Good. Come back to stillness, please. And then if you have a block, you can grab a block. You can also use a strap or something of that nature if you have one. And you're going to take that block and in your right hand, take it up to the sky. Bend your elbow so that your elbow points up at the ceiling. The block or the strap is hanging down behind you. Good. Left arm goes out wide to the left. Turn that palm to face back. Your thumb's going to point down. And then reach that left hand down towards the floor. Bend the elbow so your left elbow points down to the floor. Reach up to find either the end of your strap or the end of the block. Good. So you have something to hold on to. And then try and find the lift of the top of your sternum, so the front of your chest, and then relax your ribs. So you're trying to find a full connection of your back to the block. Head up. Good. So of course, in my mind, because I did 108 cobra poses yesterday too, I'm like, you're going to get a lot of shoulder opening because my shoulders need it. Good. So keep that right elbow lifting up towards the ceiling as much as you can. So you're angling that elbow up so that you get a different stretch through the side body. Good. One more breath on this side. Nice. And then slowly release, please, placing the block to the side. Stretch your arms out wide, letter T. Turn your palms to face up. Good. And then just move your arms back in space. You're lifting the chest, a little bit of that, like, what's that scene from Titanic where she's, on the front of the boat? A little bit of that. So chest open, arms back. Queen of the world, king of the world. Good. And then release the ribs, stretch the arms across the body, right arm over top of left, wrap the forearms for eagle arms. Good. And then move the elbows in little circles here. Nice. I didn't think it was that it was a relevant thing when I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, my shoulder, my back, I feel that I did 108 cobras yesterday. And how often is that in our lives where we wake up one day and we're like, oh my God, what happened? It's like we totally forgot that just the day before we did 108 cobras or we had whatever crazy event in our life. We're like, how could I feel this way? Don't panic. Goal of yoga is don't panic when you feel things. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your arms out wide. Yeah. Stretch the arms up to the sky. Interlace the fingers. Press the heels of the hands all the way up. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, round into your back, press the arms forward, straight out from the chest. Good. And then inhale all the way back up and release the arms out and down. Grab your block again. Block in your left hand this time. Left arm goes up. Bend the elbow so that your block is hanging back behind you. Elbow points up towards the sky. Right arm out to the right. Turn your palm to face backwards so your thumb points down, and then bring that hand to face down towards the floor. Try not to drop the shoulder. And then as you bend the elbow, you're reaching up to find either the bottom edge of the block or the end of your strap, whatever you're using. And then lift your head again, because the tendency here is we start to curl into the back to try and make it easier on our shoulders. Don't make it easy on yourself. Lift your chest. Good. And then again, you're working that left elbow up towards the sky as much as you can so that the angle of that arm, right, is a nice stretch for this muscle right here. Good. Soften your rib cage back, upper chest lifts. Nice. And again, you're here, and this might be a position where you feel like you have to put a lot of effort in to stay here. And then you have to relax, right? Sukha, if you make this miserable for yourself, guess how you're going to feel? It's just a stretch, right? Good. Soften the rib cage back, lift to the upper chest, long throat. Nice, Victoria. Nice, Diane. Nice melody. Good, everybody. Deep breath. Good. And then slowly release, please. Placing your block off to the side. Stretch your arms out and wide. Again, turn your palms to face up. Good. Stretch the arms back just a little bit further, lifting the chest up, so a little baby back bend. Good. And as you do that, right, you're stretching the arms back, drop your shoulders wide. So stretch out through your fingertips and then lift the sternum again. So again, we're just working to try and get the shoulder blades to move on the back, to work with the back muscles. Good. And then soften your ribs, please. Take the arms across the front of the body, left arm over top of right. When the elbows are in line, press the forearms together. Good. Do little circles with your elbows. Nice. It's funny as if you didn't do 108 cobras yesterday and you're like, this is a lot of work for my shoulders. You're welcome. Good. Sukha and Stira, what arises from within you, and that place within, the silence or the void, right, where nothing is determined, doesn't mean nothing is there. Because if we can move from there and things emanate from within us in that way, then what does happen in your life becomes more easeful, because you're not thinking it, right? You're experiencing it, but you're not thinking it. It's the thinking that gets us in trouble. Number one rule of yoga, thinking gets you in trouble. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Stretch the arms out and wide. Nice job. Take the arms up to the sky, interlace the fingers, press the heels of the hands up. Good. Deep breath in, pull through the side body. And then as you exhale, round, dropping your chin towards your chest, pressing the arms straight out. Good. So the arms are straight out from the chest. So you're really pushing out and getting into the roundness of the back of your rib cage. Good. Nice, Jessica. Nice, Mary Ellen. And then come all the way back up, reaching through the side ribs. And then release the arms out and down. Nice job. Good, you guys. Roll forward to hands and knees. Good. Knees underneath your hips, please. And then walk your hands slightly forward of your shoulder. So instead of a normal hands and knees tabletop, walk your hands out a little further, almost like you're coming into a modified down dog. So hands out a little further. Yep, further, further, further. Yeah. So basically a modified down dog, like a puppy pose, right? But you're not dropping your hips to your heels. And then cat-cow your spine from here with the arms extended. So as you inhale, you're lifting the chest up alongside and squeezing those arm bones in. And then as you exhale, again, rounding into your back. Keep your hips in line with your knees though. Good. Arms are extended forward, but hips stay steady over the knees. Good. You can widen your hands as much as you need. So if the shoulders, again, are a little bit of a cranky place, the wider you take your hands here, the more easeful this action is going to be. Good. Nice, you guys. Good. Keep the hips nice and steady on top of the knees, so don't let them rock forward and back. Good. Awesome. And then come back to stillness, please. Walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Good. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. Come back to downward facing dog. Good. And then step your right foot forward between your hands. Lunge. Nice. Inhale, both arms to the sky. High lunge. Back heel stays lifted. Good. Front knee is over the front ankle. So find that. And then don't waver. Good. Take your arms out to cactus arms, elbows bent 90 degrees. Spin those inner elbows slightly forward. Let your palms fall back. And again, just for a moment, let those shoulders drop away from your ears as you lift through the back of your throat. Sternum up, little baby back bend. Good. And then soften the ribs again, please. Begin to twist to your right, so towards your front leg, keeping the elbows nice and wide. Good. And then still in the twist, stretch your arms out to straight. Nice. And you're bringing your left forearm onto your right thigh, please, and taking your right arm over the ear on the diagonal, right? So you're reaching towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat. You're turning your belly towards the right. Good. Kick your back thigh a little higher. Nice. Now keep your right arm where it is over the ear. Don't change your twist. Just lift your left arm up off of your thigh and extend it out in the same line as your chest. So you're still crisscrossing the arms. Yep. There you go. And twist a little deeper. Yep. Good. Unwind everything. Arms to the sky. Inhale. Nice, Laura. Good, Jessica. Oh, you got it, Lori. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice, you guys. Good. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down to your belly slow, coming through knees first if you need. Stretch your arms, reaching back towards your feet. Distinctly not cobra, locust pose. Pressing through the front of your thighs, float your legs up off the floor, lift head, neck, and chest as well. Palms facing down to the floor. Good. And widen your hands here. So if not to a full 90 degrees, like out to the side, if not fully out to a letter T, move your hands a little wider away from your side ribs. And again, lift your sternum up, 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 up. And then draw those shoulders wide away from your ears. Good. Beautiful. Nice, Harriet. Nice, Lydia. Turn your palms down. There you go. And then release. Nicely done, you guys. Press yourself up to hands and knees. Come back for a brief child's pose, knees wide, big toes together to touch. Good. So if you didn't know this about me, my philosophy is that when you have worked an area of the body very strongly and you feel it the next day, like I said, number one, don't panic. Remember what you did the day before. So you understand why the body feels the way that it does. And number two is that when a muscle is very sore, there's something going on, provided that it's not in an injured mode, is that you have to go back and use that muscle again. You can't ignore it because then it stays tight and contracted and it'll be painful for longer, right? So we have to go back and skillfully use the same muscle that we maybe overdid things with so that it can come back into balance. The ease can return. Back to hands and knees, please. Press back, downward facing dog. All right, so there was no way today that you weren't getting out of some sort of back extension. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands, lunge. Good. Inhale, both arms to the sky, high lunge. And again, if you didn't know that that's what you were walking into today, you're welcome. Knee over the ankle, please. Good. Take your arms out wide, cactus arms again. And again, this feeling of bringing the inner elbows forward, it should feel almost like you're trying to squeeze something between the elbows. All right, so it's an engagement of the upper back and then the palms fall back. So we're setting the rotation of the arm bones in the shoulder socket. That's what we're trying to do here. And then lift your sternum up. So the back bending is again coming from your spine, not from your arms falling back further. Good, an openness through the chest. Elbows up a little more, Mia. Nice, Linda. Good, you guys. And then soften the ribs so you're no longer actively back bending and twist to your left. Turn your belly towards your left thigh. Good. Keep your elbows just as wide though. Don't let that right elbow fall forward. So again, you're keeping the armpits wide and the shoulders engaged. Stretch your arms out to letter T, so straight arms. And then you're bringing your right forearm onto your left thigh, taking your left arm over the ear, reaching towards the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Nice. Mary Ellen, it might be hard for me to see, but it looks like your left foot is turned inward a little bit. Maybe, yep, turn the toes just a tiny bit. There you go. Awesome, you guys. And then keep that left arm where it is. Just take your right arm off of that thigh and continue to reach in the direction of your chest. So the arms are still crisscrossed. You're still reaching, that right arm is reaching towards the center of your imaginary room, straight out from your chest. Good. Twist, twist, twist. Nice. Unwind. Inhale both arms to the sky. Really good, everybody in the room. Awesome, awesome. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job. Step back, downward facing dog. Good morning. I know. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Good. Take your knees down to the floor. Slide your weight forward just a tiny bit more so tips of your shoulders come towards your fingertips, and then drop your chest to the floor between your thumbs. Keep your butt up. So knees, chest, and chin. Yep, so knees are on the floor, chest between the thumbs, chin lifted slightly on the floor, and stay there like a little inchworm. Good, feet on the floor as well. So you're squeezing your knees towards, your chest is touching the floor. So if you're hovering above the floor, don't do that. Let your chest touch. But in this position, squeeze your knees forward, draw your rib cage in, and try and roll those arm bones up and back as though you were preparing for cobra. That's the point of this pose, right? Is to get into the creases. Good. Get into the energy lines. Get into the stuckness. Good. Now pull yourself forward on your hands, please. So you come all the way onto your belly, and then stretch your arms back to straight, reaching for your feet, towards your feet. Sorry, not for your feet. And then lifting the legs up for locust, lifting the upper body for locust, head, neck, and chest, palms face down. And again, stretch your arms a little wider away from your side ribs. Good. Float the arms a little higher in space. Yeah. And then draw those shoulders away from the ears and press through the crown of your head. Nice, Lori. Really good, Rhonda. Nice, Joy. Beautiful, Mary Ellen, Lydia. And then slowly release, please. Good. Plant the hands. Press up to hands and knees, please. And back to child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together to touch. Drop your hips to your heels. Good. And we talk all the time about how if we are coming from the thinking mind, is we are going to be stuck in the limitations of yesterday. We're going to be stuck in the patterns of whatever your thoughts have been, and nothing new, right? So nothing new really occurs in the mind, or it takes a long time for anything to change. But if we're moving from that state of things that arise from within, is we have this endless potential to move from our reaction into a place that is inclusive, or from our reaction to a place that is easeful, spacious. And that's really all we're being asked to do. So if you overthink these words, Sukha and Stira, you're going to make yourself nuts trying to figure out how to create ease out of discipline or structure. It doesn't work. But where the two come together, the same state that they arise from, the inner world that they arise from, is they both exist very naturally. And that's our yoga practice, is finding where these opposing things in ourselves and in the world exist very naturally, coexist very naturally. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Good. Right leg comes up and back behind you, down dog, split. Beautiful. And then step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Good. Back heel comes flat, baby toe parallels back of your mat. Cartwheel your arms up to warrior two, please. So your back foot is flat, toes turn to the side. You got it. Shoulders should be facing or on top of your hips, but chest is facing to the long edge of your mat. Arms straight out, letter T, warrior two. Good. Turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows, place the tips of your fingers on the tops of your shoulders, and then make little circles with your elbows. Good. Keep that front knee over the front ankle so you don't lose that lunge. Equal weight in both feet. So again, the longer you're in the lunge, there's a natural tendency to try to push forward into that front leg. Instead, move the weight of your pelvis backwards towards the back heel. Good. Nice. Bring the elbows back to stillness, please. Stretch the arms out wide. Nice job. Right forearm comes onto the front thigh. Left arm comes over the ear. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. Front knee really moving over the front ankle. So keep it there. Press down through the heel. Nice, Mark. Good, Rachel. Awesome, you guys. And then let that right hand touch down to the floor here, or a block if the floor is not reachable. And then start to straighten your right thigh, coming into Trikonasana with that hand already planted to the floor or on its prop. Good. So as you start to straighten the right leg, your hips have to pull up, 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 up. Yeah. And you have to reach open through that left side chest. Nice, Melody. Throat back. Good, Debbie. Nice, you guys. Turn your left palm to face backwards, please. Bend the elbow, reach around to find your outer right hip, or just take that hand, the back of that hand to your lower spine, wherever it happens to rest. Good. And again, you're stacking the left shoulder on top of the right. Don't try to move from the elbow. Move from the top of your shoulder. Move from the top of your chest. Good. So the elbow stays soft. No effort there, only in the ribs. Beautiful. Really good, you guys. Nice, Allison. Stretch that left arm back up to the sky, please, and then reach it over the ear. Good. Pull, pull, pull. Squeeze the legs together, please. Float your right arm up off the floor as well. So both arms reach towards the top of your mat, framing the ears. Good. Navel to spine. Squeeze your feet. Turn your left rib cage open again. That's it, Carla. Nice, Marlene. Awesome. Bend the right knee. Take the arms back to warrior two. Shoulders over your hips. Wow. But no cobra. Left hand down your back thigh. Right palm spins up and back. Reverse warrior. Right. One of those strange choices. Would you rather do 108 cobras again or do whatever it is I'm going to do in its place? Come all the way back to center, please. Nice job. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes same direction as your left. Good. If you have your block or your strap again, go ahead and grab it. Good. And then come back to that wide-legged stance. Good. Wide legs, toes facing forward, so parallel. Good. Right arm to the sky, holding the block or your strap. Bend the elbow, place the, point that elbow up at the ceiling with the block or the strap hanging behind you. Same position as before. So start standing up. And then left arm goes wide. Turn the palm to face back, point the fingers down, reach up to find the strap or the end of that block. Good. Deep breath in so you can feel your spine here, relationship to the block. And then start to bow forward with your arms in this position. So as you come forward and you naturally want to round your back, you got to find the place where you're still lifting that right elbow up, keeping your shoulder blade on your back. So you got to work through your rib cage. Good. It's probably not super comfortable. You're welcome. Good. One more breath, finding more of your lower spine or middle spine, feeling that block or that strap. So draw the ribs in, lift your sternum up. Nice, Sarah. Yes. Good. And then release the block down to the floor. Please release your hands to the floor, forward fold. Good job. Walk your hands straight ahead. So you're in a wide-legged downward facing dog. So you don't have to move your feet at all. Just walk your hands forward. Nice, you guys. Again, forward enough if you can so that you feel the drawing back of your hips. Good. Decompressing the spine. Fingertips on the floor, hands on the floor so you feel the lift of your armpits. Breathe into the backs of the shoulders. Good. Right, the ease or the sukha is the sweetness that comes from you not adding on an extra layer of tension or an extra layer of judgment to whatever you're doing. So you can have tight shoulders and still be an enlightened being, right? Good. Maybe walk your hands back in just a step and then plant that right hand center right underneath your chest and then take that left hand to your right ankle. So you're reaching underneath you, left hand to right ankle. Good. So the right arm should still be pretty much in that down dog position. It's just maybe not as long as you were when you had both hands. So it's a twisting down dog. Good. Look underneath that right armpit, please. Nice. Good. And then release, please, back to center and switch. So left hand comes about center underneath your chest or underneath your gaze. Right hand reaches for your left ankle or shin. And again, if the ankle is not reachable, reach for whatever part of the leg is reachable, but turn your ribs, right? If you don't turn your shoulders here, then you're not going to get the openness that comes through your side body or through your back. All right. So whatever you can find on that left leg, reach for it. Good. And twist. Try to look underneath that left armpit, navel to spine. Good. A hollowing of the front of the body. Nice. Good, Lori. Good, Harriet. Nice, Jessica. And then slowly release back to center, please. Walk your hands back in towards your feet. Good. Walk yourself towards the top of your mat. Right toes turn forward. Spin the back heel up. Press back downward facing dog or step back to downward facing dog. Good. Nice, you guys. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow to your belly. Good. Bend both knees. Kick your heels in towards your butt. Good. Reach back for the feet or the ankles if you can. If reaching for the feet is not available today, you're going to keep your hands on the floor, elbows bent. This is the one place where you might experience something close to a cobra if you're not reaching for your feet. Good. So if you are holding your feet, hug your knees in just a little bit more. Draw your heels down towards your butt cheeks and keep them there. Good. And then you're keeping the tops of your knees pressing down, low belly drawing in and up. So you're not forcing the front of the pelvis into the floor, but there's a drawing in and up of the belly. And then bend your elbows up towards the ceiling, lift head, neck, and chest. Keep your heels in towards your butt. Press down through your thighs. So again, this is shoulder stretching. You got it. Perfect, Mary Ellen. Really nice. Bend the elbows up, up, up. Don't try and do anything with the legs except root them down. Knees down, Joy. That's it. Good. Elbows bent. Good. And then slowly release, please. Let the legs go. Awesome. Plant your hands, press back up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog.
What happened to working the lower back?
We are working the lower back. What happened to it? Your lower back will feel fantastic. Just wait. Left leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Good. Drop the back heel. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Take the arms up to warrior two. Good. Awesome. Turn your palms to face up, please. Bend the elbows, fingertips to the tops of your shoulders, and then move your elbows in little circles. Try to remember, do them in the opposite direction as what you did before. And if you can't remember, whatever your instinct is, do the opposite. It's the truth, right? Whatever our instinct is that's our pattern. That's our habit. We always go the same. We always do the same thing. We rotate the same way. We reach with the same hand. We think the same thoughts. So whatever your instinct is, the immediate thing that comes up, do the opposite. Good. Keep that front knee over the front ankle. I know. Good. And then bring the elbows back to stillness, please. Stretch your arms straight out and wide and feel the shoulders dropping away from the ears as you stretch up through the length of your throat. Good. Left forearm comes onto front thigh. Right arm comes over the ear, side angle. Good. Really reach through your fingertips. So your front knee should still be in line with your front ankle. If it's not, bring it there. Good. I know it might feel like it's more work, but it's actually a more stable place for your joints. Believe it or not, more easeful. Good. And then keep that right arm where it is. Take your left forearm off of the thigh and just stretch it straight out in line with the chest. Good. So the arms are crisscrossed. You're opening the ribs. Open, 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 open. Yes. Awesome, Mia. Nice, Alice. And nice, Carla. Beautiful. And then bring that left hand. I don't think this was the same sequence we did before. That's okay. Bring that left hand down to the floor inside your front foot. Use a block if you'd like. And then start to straighten your left thigh. Right arm is straight up towards the sky. Trikonasana. Again, I think I did things in a slightly different order last time. That's all right. Good. Pull those hips up and up and up to let the legs get straighter. So you're pushing into your feet and pulling up through your hips. Nice. Stack that right rib cage a little higher. And then turn your right palm to face back, please. Bend the elbow, reach around to find the lower spine or the outer left hip. Keep your hips lifting up. Keep rotating left side upper chest open. Sorry, right side upper chest open. Nice, Rhonda. Good. Throat back, Marlene. Nice, Diane. You got it. Good, Victoria. Nice, Sarah. Nice, Debbie. Good. Stretch that right arm back up to the sky, please. Beautiful. Bend your left knee. Cartwheel. Sorry, don't bend your left knee. Sorry, straighten the leg again. Now I remember what I did. Take that right arm over your ear. So you're in triangle pose with the right arm over the ear. I know. And then swing the left arm up as well. So both arms frame your ears, reaching towards the top of your mat. Good. Yep. Navel in. Squeeze the legs. Now bend your left knee and bring the arms all the way back up to warrior two. That was the kicker. There you go. Beautiful. Right hand down the back thigh. Left palm spins up and back. Reverse warrior. Don't think your way through life. Feel your way. Experience your way through life. Good. Come back up to center, please. Straighten your left leg. Turn your left toe same direction as the right. So you're back to that wide-legged stance. Grab your block or your strap. Good. And then block or strap in the left hand, arm up. Bend the elbow, place the prop hanging back behind you. Left elbow points towards the ceiling. Right arm extends, turn the palm back, point the fingers down, reach up, find the lower end of your block or your strap. Throat up. Good. And then maintain this position. Start to bow forward, keeping the connection of your spine to the block if you're using a block. Trying not to let the left elbow drop forward and in. keeping it lifted so the shoulder blade stays really connected to the back. Nice, Laura. Good, nice, Joy. Yeah, there's absolutely a place here where if you're fighting between keeping your legs straight without locking your knees and keeping your back extended, then bend your knees a little bit. Let the weight of your hips move forward a little bit more. Good. Work with just one place. Don't try to get crazy and make everything perfectly the way you think it should be. Good. It's that thinking that gets you in trouble. Make it easeful, but still structured. You know what you're doing. Sukha and Stira. Good. Release the prop down to the floor, please. Whatever you're using, release the hands down to the floor. Nice. Walk your hands forward again, wide-legged downward facing dog. So you're still in the wide stance. Just walk your hands forward off of your mat. Good. Hands maybe a little bit wider. So Mary Ellen, take your hands a little wider. So again, you're giving the shoulders a lot of space, and then draw your hips up and back. Good. Good. Jessica, right side rib cage and low belly, lift and widen just a little bit more. There you go. Yeah, the right side is sinking a little bit. Good. Right hip pulls to the side a little bit more, Jessica. That's it. There you go. Nice, you guys. And then walk your hands all the way back in. I know you're waiting for the other shoe to drop there. Nothing, just walk back in. Walk back towards the top of your mat, left toes turn forward, right heel spins up, step back, downward facing dog. Good, come forward to plank pose. Knees, chest, and chin, drop the knees to the floor, slide your chest forward, shoulders forward, so your chest comes between the thumbs, and then chin lifts. Again, chest is touching the floor, knees bent, butt up. Knees, chest, and chin. Stay there. Good. And then again, roll those arm bones up and back. Yeah, and squeeze your knees forward. Really engage, lifting the butt, drawing the ribs in. Nice, Joy. Good. Butt to the sky. Feet on the floor, Lydia, but butt up. There you go, like a little inchworm. Good. And then drag yourself forward onto your belly, please. Forehead flat to the floor. Take your hands behind your head, elbows wide. Doing every other back bend except Cobra, just for Dana. Elbows behind your head, lift the elbows up, please, off of the floor. So again, you feel the upper back, and then try and feel as though you're pulling the tips of your elbows down towards your hips. So your armpits get engaged. Good. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Don't clench your butt here. Good. Press down through the legs. Butt can be active, but not clenched. Lift up head, neck, and chest. Keep your gaze straight down to the floor. So don't tilt the chin forward. Good. Hands behind the head, head straight down to the floor. Press up. So the throat is long. Good. Keep those elbows lifted, but elbow points pulling down towards your hips. Last breath. Good. And then release, please. Nice job. Stay on your belly. Make a pillow with your hands or turn one cheek to the side. I used to say that there is an aspect of, an asana practice where if we run the extra energy out of the body, we run the extra energy out of the mind, is that we come to this very sweet place of exhaustion, right? And some of us, we love that, right? That we like to move so much that literally we just have no more energy to worry. We have no more energy to overthink. We have no more energy to do any of that. So I used to say that that's what we were doing, is trying to exhaust the mind till it finally lets go. But instead of trying to exhaust the mind, I've come to think of it as you're just making it very clear that the mind is not in charge, right? It's there to help you move through the pace of your life, but it's not in charge. And so the release, the relaxing can happen not because you're exhausted and have nothing left, but because you finally are okay with the fact that your moving can move from a place that is deeper than that thinking layer of your mind. However you want to label that place in you, doesn't really matter. Turn your cheek to the other side if you have one cheek facing the floor. Right, so we don't actually have to give up the mind entirely, but we have to allow it to go to a place where it's being directed to being helpful instead of being in that obsessive state where it makes everything difficult. Adds difficulty. Adds a layer of challenge or restriction. Because deeper than that, there's a place in us where everything arises from and everything is already unified. That's what yoga means, is that there is a place in you where everything is already interconnected, unified. You don't have to try to do anything. It's just there. And all we're doing is trying to wind our attention back to that place instead of being in the constant thinking. Good. Still with forehead to the floor, stretch your arms out wide, please. Palms facing down, so straight up from the shoulders, letter T. Good. And then you're rolling onto your right hip, please. So as you roll onto that right hip, yep, you're stacking the left leg on top of the right. You can even step that left foot back behind the right if that feels better. Good, stacking the shoulders. Your left elbow can bend here if you'd like. Good, so you can use the left hand to press into the floor. So it's really a stretch for the right shoulder, the right arm. Good. And again, if you did 108 cobras yesterday, this probably feels pretty good. It does. Like this is all you wanted all morning. Nice, you guys. Yeah, if it's intense, breathe into that. If you're pushing the intensity in a way that doesn't feel like it's really useful, you feel any tingling or pinching happening in the front of the arm bone, change your position, or in the front of the joint, change your position. Because guess what? Pressing on your nerves does not make anything work better. It just makes unhappy nerve sensation. Good, you guys. One more breath. And then slowly release, bringing yourself back to your belly. Good. And then we're going to move to the other side. So stretch the arms out wide and check out that your arms are truly in line with your shoulders. So most of us tend to do this and we have this sort of angling where the hands are lower than our shoulders are. So you might have to move your hands up a little bit so that they're really in line with the top ridge of your shoulder. Good. And then you're rolling onto your left hip. Good. Yep. Stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. You can bring that right foot back behind you if that feels like better balance. You can bend the knee. Good. You can have your right fingertips on the floor in front of you to help lift open the chest. Good. It's a nice variation, Rachel. I like that. Nice, you guys. You're twisting open, bringing the right shoulder on top of the left as much as you can so that you're stretching through the arm, stretching through the shoulder. And again, watch the amount of intensity that you try to force your body into. Good. And then take one last breath. And slowly release, bringing yourself all the way back towards your belly. Good. Nice, you guys. Bend the elbows, press yourself up to hands and knees. Good job. Do a little hip circling, please. Move your pelvis. Good. And then circle the hips the other way. Nice. And then come back to stillness, please. Fingers spread wide, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. I know you thought it couldn't be possible. Down dog. Right leg up and back, down dog split, please. Good. Bring that knee forward and wide for pigeon. Knee goes towards your right wrist. Good. Shin crossing towards the opposite hip point. Good. Move so that your pelvic bones are facing straight ahead, so that that left knee is pointed down towards the floor. So you're not leaning onto your right thigh. So you want your pelvis to be straight ahead. So for most of us, that means that your right butt cheek is going to be slightly lifted. Good. And then walk yourself forward, coming onto your forearms or blocks or whatever you like to use. Keep that front shin really awake, so you're pushing it into the floor. Good. So it should feel like your foot is doing something, either like you're trying to point through the ankle or curl the toes back into a flexed foot. Nice. And keep that pressure of that front shin into the floor, because that's going to keep all of the muscles of that leg awake, which means your knee is going to be happier, and those outer hip and thigh muscles are actually going to release easier. Good. And if you're on your back, fantastic. Right ankle over left thigh. Nicely done. The Buddhists call this inner state in us, where things are empty, or where there's a sense of there being nothing, things being undetermined. They call it Nirvana, right? And so you probably heard the word long before you ever experienced yoga. Most of us have, and you thought, oh, that sounds great, right? State of bliss. Not the band, right? Maybe you just thought it was a band. But that state of bliss is the place that everything arises from. So it's not a place you arrive at because of X, Y, and Z. It's a place that simply is, and everything else you've experienced up until that point is included in it. So it's the state in which everything is already unified. So there's nothing, because everything is there, right? And so we return to, or we look for returning to an awareness of that state, so that we can be in the world fully inclusive of the whole experience of the world. And it's still easeful, because we're allowing it to arise from within. We're not thinking our way through our life. Good. Nice, you guys. Last breath. And then walk your hands back in, please. Planting the hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. If you're on your back, you can stay on your back. We're just going to come to the other side. So if you're coming up from pigeon, take that right leg up and back to down dog split. Good. And then release the foot to the floor, please. Give a little bend to your knees. Drop your hips towards your heels, so you're in a bent knee down dog, drawing your hips back and down towards your heels, just for a breath. Good. And then take the legs back to straight, please. Stretch your left leg up and back behind you, down dog split. And then bring that knee forward and wide, pigeon pose. So knee towards the outer wrist, heel crosses towards the opposite hip. Good. Make sure that you are pointing the front edges of your hip bones straight ahead. So again, you're not leaning onto that left thigh or left butt cheek, as you want your pelvis to be in that squared off position, or that neutral straight ahead position. Good. Then find your way forward onto your elbows or blocks, or whatever you'd like to use. Good. And if the position is super intense on that front thigh, and you feel like you need something to help keep you there in a more easeful way, you can place a block or something like that underneath the left sit bone or underneath the left thigh. But again, the point is not to lean into the prop. Right? You want to keep the pelvis in that really aligned position, so that the muscles are stretching in that aligned position. Good. And if you're on your back, left ankle over right thigh, feet flexed. Good. Continue to relax through your upper back and shoulders here. Even if you're on your back, relax through your upper back and shoulders. Nice, you guys. So it's said that the outside world, right, is that power of the illusion that what we think in our minds is we imagine it to be real in all circumstances. And because everything is always changing, right, the mind is always having to jump around from reaction to reaction to reaction. They say sometimes like a drunken monkey, it jumps around. And in that state of constantly jumping around, there's no ease, right? There's always that feeling of I have to cling to this or to that because I don't know what's coming next and I don't know what I'm going to have to be or do or see. Maybe it's all too much. So instead of that, can you drop a little bit deeper to where there is a space in you where things can arise? You don't have to pre-think them. You will experience your life, but you don't have to think your way through it. The thinking becomes a process that helps your feeling, that helps your experience, rather than tries to define it into a very specific thing that you can't waver from, that you can't wiggle from. A state of nirvana, a state of open nothingness, where your natural reactions, not your thinking reactions, arise from. Nice, Lori. And so we joke and say, can you find that place? And instead of waiting until you're in a really comfortable meditation moment to find it, can you find it now? While you're in a position that maybe is challenging for body and mind. You find that same inclusiveness that we started with. May all beings, including me, find my way through those moments where we just want to react. Where we're clinging to our own stuckness. Good. Start to walk your hands back in, please. Again, if you're on your back, you can just come up to sit. If you're coming up onto your hands, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, take your left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. And then release that left foot down to the floor, please. Again, bending your knees in your down dog, dropping your hips towards your heels, pressing back through the upper spine. So knees bend, butt drops towards your heels. Good. Deep bend of your knees, butt drops towards your heels. Yeah. And then take the legs back to straight, please. Beautiful. And then bring the knees all the way down to the floor and come to sit, legs out in front of you. Good. So everybody comes to a seated position. Bottoms of the feet together, knees wide, Badakanasana. Good. Nice, you guys. And then inhale the arms up to the sky, please. Good. As though you're hugging that block between your hands. I'm not going to ask you to actually hold the block, but you could. But as though you're hugging the block. So you've got strength through your arms, right? Draw those armpits down, lift your chest, and then stay this engaged. Draw your low rib cage in. I was saying yesterday, and I'll say it again, that usually when I get super tall through my side body and I pull my low ribs in and I pull my low belly in, I become aware of my lower back and where it's tight in a way that I didn't think that it existed, right? So draw your ribs in until you actually feel, oh, there's my back. Good. And then start to lean forward, maintaining that drawing in of the belly. Lean forward, extend forward, forward fold. There you go. Yeah. Keep your feet awake, pressing the feet into the floor. Nice. Extend, extend, extend. Ribs in. Yes. Good. Really nice, Mary Ellen. Good, Lydia. Good, Diane. Good, Linda. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Good. Relax the effort. Let the head drop if you'd like. Relax your shoulders. Good. And then walk yourself all the way back up, please. Good. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. If you need a prop underneath your seat, you can always use it, a little folded blanket, so that your pelvis is nice and neutral. Good. Flex the feet. Place your hands alongside your hips, palms flat to the floor. the Dandasana. So with the arms straight alongside you, so just arms in line with the shoulders, you're pushing down into the hands or fingertips if your hands cannot come flat. Good. Flexing your feet, dig your heels down, take the tops of your thighs down. Your knees should not feel locked. Good. Low belly draws in. Lift your ribs up and in. Lift your chest a little higher. Good. Back of your throat extends. Eyes are closed. So press into your seat. Lift through the crown of your head. Push into your hands. Widen your shoulders. Press out through your heels. Pull back through your butt. So all directions, you are squeezing the internal body, right? So the legs are active. Arms are active. Navel to spine. Long throat. Good. Whole body awake. Nice. Maintain it. Keep pressing. Keep squeezing. Feet, throat, ribs. Now do it like this is the sweetest hug you've ever given yourself, but keep it. Good. And then release everything. Walk your hands forward towards your feet. Forward fold. Paschimottanasana. Good. Nice, you guys. One more breath, pressing down through the heels, softening through the spine so that you're letting the belly drop towards your thighs. You're letting the chest drop towards your thighs. Good. And then walk yourself all the way back in, please. Nice job. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to go upside down if you would like. So an inversion of your choice. If you have a wall and you want to do a little headstand or handstand, you are welcome to do that. If that's not an option, shoulder stand is great, right? If shoulder stand does not work in your vocabulary either, you want to lay on your back, place a block underneath your sacrum in a supported bridge pose, or just legs straight up to the sky. Those are great options too, right? So shoulder stand, if you're not familiar, lying on the back is where you bend the elbows, lift the hips up off of the floor and take the legs straight up towards the sky. Good, keeping the hands at the lower back. Good, nice, Mary Ellen. So just bend the elbows and hold the lower spine. Yep, you got it. So it just helps you get your hips a little bit more vertical. That's it. Perfect. Good. So inversion of your choice. And even if that is laying on the ground with your legs up to the sky, it's perfect. Good. Lydia, move your heels a little bit further away from your belly just so that more of your lower back finds the block. So it's going to feel almost like you're arching your lower back a little bit. But yeah, there you go. So you have heels right on top of your hips. Nice. Really good. Nice, Rhonda. Nice, Jessica. Good, Debbie. Melody and Harriet. Nice job, everybody. Nice, Allison. Sukha and Stira, whatever you are choosing to do. The structure, the discipline, the focus is just to keep your mind from getting into a place where it makes things more difficult. That's it. It's to simplify your thinking so that the ease is able to happen. Because we don't create ease out of nothing. Ease is there. We're just so used to there being so many other layers of nonsense over top of it that we can't feel it. I'm always redefining what yoga means in silly modern terms, and one of it is just dealing with your nonsense. It's understanding completely your own personal layers of nonsense. Take your last couple of breaths upside down wherever you are. Enjoying them. If you are in shoulder stand and you want to bring your toes to the floor above the crown of your head, like you're in an upside down forward fold, you can do that. It's plow pose. Keeping the hips lifted though, if your chest feels like it cannot take a full breath, then you adjust your pose so that you can breathe. Good. And slowly start to find your way out of your inversion. Good. If you're coming out of shoulder stand, as you roll down the spine, bend the knees in towards your chest as the hips find the floor, so there's not a lot of strain on the back. Good. If you were in if you were in handstand or headstand, you need a moment either in Virasana or child's pose, take that. And then everybody finds their way onto their backs. Hooray. Good. Bend your knees, please. Plant your feet. You're almost done. Elbows bend. Fingers up towards the ceiling. Press into the upper arms, please. Press into your feet. Rise up, bridge pose. So you're lifting the hips, lifting from the back of the heart. Good. Nice. And then slowly releasing the hips back down to the floor. And then even if wheel is not at all in your vocabulary, I'd like for you to plant your hands alongside your ears, elbows up towards the ceiling. Take the arm position for wheel. Good. Pressing into the hands. Hands can be as wide as they need to be. And just work the hugging of the arms in. Good. Yep. So you hug your upper arms straight in like so you're not coming into wheel. I did not say come into wheel. Notice I did not say it. Good. You're just working the arm position in wheel. So hug the upper arms, the elbows towards each other. Good. And then feel as though you're pressing your hands into the floor, like you're trying to take the tips of your elbows towards your belly. So the arms squeeze in like there's a rubber band around them, but the elbow tips start to draw in towards your chest or in towards your belly. So they're trying to round inward. Again, we're just working with the shoulder rotation here. And then if wheel is one of your things and you want to lift your hips here and maybe come up to the top of your head, you can. Hug your arms in again. Good. Draw those elbow tips in towards the chest so your armpits awaken. And then if you want to press your arms all the way to straight in that wheel position, go for it. If that sounds like crazy talk, stay where you are. Just hug the arms in, work the elbow rotation. Good. Nice, you guys. And if none of that made any sense to you and you're like, I'm just going to push up into wheel the way I always do, feel free. I cannot stop you. Good. And then slowly release whatever it is that you're doing. Nice job, you guys. Release the arms, please. Good. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. I swear this is your last pose. Besides a twist, take your arms alongside your torso, palms facing down, slide the arms close to your side ribs. You can even take the hands underneath your butt here if you'd like, fish pose. Legs to straight and together, either point the toes or flex the feet. Either one is fine, but active legs. Press down through your forearms from the back of your heart, squeeze and start to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. Butt pushes down and then arch the throat so that the top of the head just touches the floor. So you're pressing into the forearms, lifting the chest, widening through the upper body. Good. Top of the head just touches the floor. There should be little to no weight on the head. It's all held through the back and the arms. Beautiful, Lori. Nice, Jessica. Nice, Harriet. Good, Sarah. Good. And then slowly unwind, please. Nice, Ralph. Good, you guys. Take a moment. And then if you'd like a final spinal twist, again, take one of your choice. That can be both knees in towards the chest, dropping to one side. It can be one knee coming in, crossing over the body. It can be wrapping the legs, cross-legged, and rolling to either side, whatever you choose. And if you're ready to just come straight into Shavasana and find your way with the legs stretched out in front of you, feet dropping open, arms alongside you, palms up. Take your time. As you come into that Shavasana position, you let your breath get a little bit longer. Again, letting yourself drop away from that surface layer of the mind that is just thinking and thinking and thinking. Maybe again, try to connect to a place where Everything is already held. A place where everything arises from. A state of nirvana, beyond thinking of things. You are just experiencing. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. The body begin to stretch and move, whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and roll to your right side. And take a moment before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Hands coming together, palm to palm at the heart. Again, just another moment. Just staying connected to the place inside that maybe is a little bit more like silence, that maybe is a little bit more like a space where there's nothing because there's everything. A space where your entire life, what has happened, what hasn't happened, and everything that could happen is arising from, not your mind, deeper than that. In a place where we can touch that idea of all beings finding their way, even though we have no concept of what that way might look like. No concept of what it is that we actually need to be at peace or to be happy or to be in that state of bliss. We can't think it. It's the reality of yoga, is that you cannot think your way into bliss. You cannot think your way into peace. You cannot think your way into enlightenment. You have to experience it, which means you have to get beyond your mind, below your mind. But what you're seeking, the sukha, the sweetness, already exists there. It arises from within. So all we do is practice, right? The stira is we practice those techniques to get out of our mind, get the mind out of the way so we can feel. So just do that. Don't worry about the mind. Don't think too much about it. But drop deeper so that you can feel a place where you're just experiencing your life and easefulness can arise from within. Close with the sound of Om, deep breath. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys so
you, Veronica.
much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. If you're staying for meditation, we start at 11. You don't have to go off. You can stay on if you want.